Coming up next on the Season 11 premiere of Making Moves, how free rides on JTA help local nonprofits fulfill their mission. We'll tell you about a new community initiative that has JTA opening its closet. Learn who's keeping your rush hour commute as smooth as possible. And we'll meet a woman who's been riding JTA since, well, before there was a JTA. I'm Donna. These stories and more right now on Making Moves. Hello and welcome to the Season 11 premiere of Making Moves. I'm Donna. Glad to have you with us for today's show. Coming up, Karen Adams takes us behind the scenes to show how technology is helping manage our rush hour commute. Aleizha Batson joins us in studio to tell us about JTA's latest community outreach project, and we'll update you on the closure of the Mayport Ferry. But we begin with how the JTA is helping local nonprofits help the community. For years, the JTA has provided free bus passes to local nonprofit organizations. As Making Moves chief correspondent Bill Milnes explains, it's just one way the authority is making a difference in the lives of thousands.
JTA has been helping local nonprofits provide transportation for their clients for more than a decade. For the past 4 years, the JTA Ride Program, as it's called, has been organized through the Nonprofit Center of Northeast Florida. And on this day, more than 65 agencies sent representatives to learn more about the program and to register for the free passes.
What we hear over and over again from the nonprofits that we work with, that one of the biggest barriers to helping the clients and constituents that they have is transportation.
In the 4 years since it began working with the Nonprofit Center, the JTA has provided around $400,000 worth of free bus passes to about 60 different agencies throughout the region.
I think that it's wonderful. It's a great opportunity for the nonprofit organizations to be able to supplement the services that they're able to provide to their clients. So to find out that there's that budget available to the nonprofits is a great thing.
While these passes are intended to only be a supplement to the agency's own transportation service, JTA Business Development Manager and Ride Program Coordinator Mike Miller says that's not always the case.
Well, even though we do try to stress that this is just to be a supplemental program to their regular transportation program, and that's how we view it. Nevertheless, they say that if it hadn't been for JTA's program, they wouldn't have been able to meet any of their demands that they get from clients that really are in great need.
Well, if you think about this is an asset that's leveraging their own assets. So there's an exponential effect by contributing additional resources to the community that's already pretty resource strapped.
Each quarter, 7,500 passes are made available to the registered agencies, but the demand for passes is high. So high, in fact, the number of requests actually doubled the allotment available. As for the clients who eventually do receive the free passes, Rena Coughlin says they are everyday people who are often just trying to work their way back up the ladder of success. They are, she says, people you already know.
Your neighbors, they're students getting their GEDs, they're people that have work and that are just trying to make a living and get a good record so that they can keep that job. They're all kinds of persons that are on their way to being better citizens. And I think that that's absolutely in the city's interests, in the citizens' interests, and in JTA's interest to participate in a program.
At the Nonprofit Center downtown, Bill Milnes, JTA Making Moves.
JTA's Ride Program is just one of several ongoing initiatives the authority offers to help the community. It just launched a new community endeavor aimed at helping people get prepared for the workforce. And here to tell us more about the JTA Cares program is Aleizha Batson, JTA's Senior Manager of Community Relations and Social Responsibility. Welcome back to Making Moves. It's great to have you here. I think you were here a couple years ago when JTA opened the Rosa Parks Produce Market. First of all, how's that going?
Donna, it's going very well. We've had about 11,000 customers come through. Our JTA customers seem to be very excited about the program. The bus drivers jump on and jump off, grab their food, jump back on. So we're very excited about the Rosa Parks Produce Market.
Well, you know what's cool is it's been fun to watch JTA become more and more community oriented during Nat Ford's tenure at the agency. And you have that produce market, which is aimed at providing fresh fruits and vegetables to people who can't get them where they live. And it's run by the I'm a Star Foundation, which mentors teenagers on how to get ahead. So I just wonder, first of all, before we get into what's next, how did all that come about?
Well, the I'm a Star Foundation, which is run by Betty Burney, the students that are involved with that, they pick issues that they want to tackle. So childhood obesity, students that are homeless, those are a couple of their issues. But food deserts was one of them. Many of our customers, JTA customers, live in food deserts, and so it was a perfect match. You know, if they stop at the Rosa Parks transit station, they could just stop, jump off, go get some fresh fruits and vegetables, and then jump back on the bus.
Explain to people who don't know what a food desert is. What does that actually mean?
A food desert is when someone does not have access to a grocery store or to fresh produce. And that could be because of lack of transportation, lack of money, or just lack of a physical grocery store in their area.
And therefore, if they don't have access to those things, people tend to eat poorly.
They eat poorly, they go to the convenience store, they eat convenience foods, and it's just very unhealthy, and it leads to the obesity problem that we have in America.
So this is a really big deal, and I'm glad JTA could be part of that. So let's talk about the latest venture, JTA Cares. What's that all about?
So JTA Cares is a formal way for JTA to announce our corporate social responsibility. It's an organic, employee-led initiative. The employees decide which things that we want to tackle. We talk about it, and we really try to rally our fellow employees. And there's 800 of us, and so we're really trying to get everybody to jump on board and to help support our community.
Well, I understand that your first project under this banner is with the Sulzbacher Center. Yes. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. So homelessness is a big issue, and access to jobs, access to transportation, all these things are big issues. And so one of the, Sulzbacher started, they have a new Sulzbacher Village, which is close to our Gateway Transit Hub. And it was one of our bus stops is right on the outside of the village. And this, a lot of the ladies that live there, they're starting their lives over. This is an opportunity for them to get a fresh start. And so we wanted to, by doing our JTA Career Closet, we wanted to take away the anxiety of not having an outfit to go and interview or having an outfit for a special occasion to go to your place of worship, any of that. And so the JTA Career Closet, we did a call out through our employees, and the response was just absolutely tremendous. We have suits, dresses, shirts, pants, shoes, bags, jewelry, and these ladies were setting it up in Sulzbacher Village. The ladies can go in for free and get outfits whenever they want. And yeah, it's great. And as we were building it up until the grand opening that we're having, the ladies are peeking in the room and they're just so excited. So it's exciting.
So is this something that members of the community can also participate in, or is this specifically for JTA employees? This
is specifically for JTA, but I will say that we will not turn away any kind of help because, again, it takes a village. You know, we're helping the Sulzbacher Village, but it takes a village to help other people. And so if anyone has any donations or anything, they can just call me, 632-5246.
And you'll be happy to
take
take
whatever they have.
Okay, so what's next with this? What's the next step in JTA Cares? Is there another project on the horizon?
So we do have, internally, we're doing a JTA Cares package, and it's just a nice way to recognize spouses and children of our employees that are deployed overseas in the military. So if they tell us that they're deployed, we'll send over a care package from the organization. Nice. And if they have a freshman in college, we know that that is a scary time for all parents. And so if they have a freshman in college, we're going to send a care package with love from JTA.
You got a care package for the parents too?
Yeah, they need something. Their pockets are going to be
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. So JTA has the Ride Program, obviously, that we featured earlier in the show, which provides free bus passes for nonprofits to help their clients. And you have your annual charity giving campaign, given over $250,000, which is that's just amazing. Yes. So the Rosa Parks Produce Market helps get fresh produce to those who live in food desert. Now JTA Cares program. JTA is just, it just seems to me, the more you look at it, it seems like we are getting more and more involved in things beyond transit that are connected to transit, but that really do help us to connect to the community.
Right. Well, businesses shouldn't just do business in a community. You should always work to better your community. And JTA, we're providing needed transportation to people. And so there's more that we can do, and any time that we can step out and help other people, I mean, that's what the JTA way.
Well, I love it. And I enjoy seeing all these projects come to fruition, and I'm going to give you the opportunity one more time for folks who are watching. Tell them where they can go if they want to help any of these projects.
If you want to help any of our projects, you can call me, 632-5246, or call JTA, our general number. And but we don't turn away any help. But we're just we care. We're JTA Cares.
Very evident. I have to tell you, I think it's great.
Thank you.
And everybody knows that JTA provides local public transit, obviously. Many of you know about road and bridge building programs, so we're so happy to tell this part of the JTA story and all the community-based programs that the authority is involved in. Aleizha Batson, thank you so much for being with us. It's always great to have you. Please come back and give us an update. Okay, right. Thank you.
I'm Karen Adams. Coming up, we'll take you behind the scenes and show you how traffic experts keep Jacksonville moving.
And later, an update on the construction improvements at the St. Johns River Ferry and how JTA is helping promote the Jaguars to a whole new group of fans. We'll explain when we come back.
Riding JTA has never been easier than with the My JTA app. Now you can pay for your next bus or ferry ride right from your phone. Just download the free My JTA app from your phone's app store and you're ready to go. Use the drop-down menu to select your fare and pay by using Visa, MasterCard, or Discover. You can purchase 1, 3, 7, or 31-day bus passes or a single ride on the St. Johns River Ferry. The My JTA app. Transit for a modern world.
Welcome back to Making Moves. Every day we get in our cars and we hope our drive to work will be hassle-free. We pray for no congestion, accidents, road raging, or other drama on our trip. But as Making Moves correspondent Karen Adams reports, while divine intervention certainly cannot hurt, you'll find the real heroes of a smooth ride to work on your radio, TV, and in the FDOT Traffic Management Center.
Traffic congestion is the bane of most commuters' existence. Here in Jacksonville, the average commute time is about 25 minutes, but it could be much worse. Imagine not knowing about a car accident in your path, a construction road closure, or detour that could impact your drive. Thankfully, that information is readily available on television, radio, websites, and mobile apps.
Time Saver Traffic.
2 traffic alerts following right now. The first one is in Clay County. If you're traveling along Blading Boulevard.
On WJXT's The Morning Show, traffic reporter Crystal Moyer uses a number of different sources to help people plan their morning commute.
We use INRIX to get their traffic flow data, and basically that tells us the speed limits that traffic is going at certain times. It'll tell us if there's slowdowns or if traffic is stopped in certain areas. We also get crash information from the Florida Highway Patrol, and that's how we know where those crashes are on the map. And FDOT actually gives us information on construction or any closures that go on.
At radio station WOKV, they offer traffic updates every 6 minutes. News director Rich Jones says it's all about getting the latest information information to the public in enough time for them to make informed choices about their commute.
But what we try to focus a little bit more on is what's the volume looking like, what are the travel times looking like. If something is above the average travel time, we try to let listeners know that point so that they're able to plan that into their day. They may want to consider the alternate.
Still a bumper-to-bumper drive right now.
Traffic information can change at a moment's notice, even live on the air.
Today, for instance, I was doing a traffic report on air about a crash on the Beltway, and as soon as I started my report, we had actually received a phone call from the FDOT telling us all lanes are now back open on the Beltway.
And since Google helps us find every other bit of information we need in our daily lives, it only makes sense that it would also play a role providing traffic information as well.
I also use Google Maps because it's interactive and it's live. So the thing about Google Maps is really helpful. It'll tell me exactly how long the delays are.
Rich Jones says while their information sources are critical to providing accurate traffic management information, sometimes it's faster to get it directly from the consumer, commuters in their cars on the roads.
You know, we have great relationships with our listeners. They use our app, and there's a great feature in our app called the open mic feature. It's basically a way that they could record hands-free maybe, or when they're not driving or stuck in traffic, they can record and let us know what they're seeing.
But the main hub of information is still the Florida Department of Transportation's Traffic Management Center just north of downtown Jacksonville. Here they monitor more than 500 traffic cameras and upload information to dozens of dynamic message boards on interstates and other major roadways throughout North Florida. FDOT's Pete Vega says having all key people under one roof means that when there's a situation on area roadways, they can react almost immediately. Vega says responses to accidents or other incidents that used to take 15 minutes or more can now be done in under 2 minutes, and that saves lives. FDOT also helps keep public transportation on schedule. The JTA's First Coast Flyer buses communicate with traffic signals on their routes that tells them if it's on time.
So when buses are behind schedule, they'll get more green lights to get back on schedule.
That helps keep the Flyer routes to a 90% on-time performance. So the next time you're on the Flyer or have smooth sailing for your rush hour commute, you may want to say a little thank you to the dozens of traffic management folks who keep you moving. In downtown, Karen Adams, JTA Making Moves.
The JTA's connection to the Jacksonville Jaguars is a long and proud one. JTA has transported an estimated 1.3 million fans to the stadium to watch the Jaguars play, and now the authority is helping even more fans enjoy the Jaguars games. Making Moves videographer Carlos Bouvier shows us how.
Allá tiene play ball, aquí entra pasa, larguito para la parte derecha, touchdown, señora! Touchdown, Jaguars!
Tico Sports has a multi-year agreement to broadcast the Jaguar games in Spanish, 2 local stations and a station in Orlando.
Por aquí usted no va a pasar porque aquí está la defensa de los Jaguares. Punto adicional para el equipo de los Jacksonville Jaguars y esto se pone hirviendo, Beto.
My role in Tico Sport, I'm at the play-by-play color broadcaster.
Esquiva uno, esquiva dos y lo tumban, Víctor.
We put a little bit of salsa, a little bit of that Latino sense that I think all the radio listener can enjoy it.
Touchdown, Jaguar!
We are on the radio, so we need to describe the game with more color than the people whose broadcast is on TV. So it's something amazing.
El receptor intentado y que recibió la bola fue Corey Grant, el número 30. The passion that's behind the calling of the game. Remember, when you call a game in Spanish, just like you call soccer in Spanish, there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of drive, there's a lot of emotion. As a matter of fact, we just got told by a couple of the English broadcasters that they like listening to us. They don't understand us, but they like listening to us because it's so animated.
We definitely have the passion behind us to get very loud. And you know, here we do too, right? In the U.S. We'll just add to the fuel of what's already there, but in a very positive way. I think it will catch on very quickly. I mean, I really do think a lot of people will be involved listening to it.
Así que, Javier, dímelo.
Touchdown, señores, para el equipo de los Jacksonville Jaguars.
This opportunity that the Jaguars, that Tico Sports, and now that JTA has come to become a partner is much larger than any of us, because as we continue to grow as a people, as a community in Jacksonville, more and more organizations, more and more partners are going to see the importance of this organization, of this community, of this segment of the population that's growing by leaps and bounds. JTA is setting the mark for supporting the Hispanic community, because they see what we see, what the Jaguars see, that the Hispanic community is growing, that the need for transportation will also grow. And so JTA wants to be up front and making sure that the Hispanic community knows that they're there for us.
We all really appreciate JTA, everything what they're doing for the Hispanic community, from my heart.
In other news, construction repairs are continuing on the Mayport Ferry. As you know, JTA took over the operation of the ferry 2 years ago and has been upgrading every aspect of the ferry operation ever since. The boat is currently undergoing a mandatory inspection, while the bridges from the ferry landing to the boat are being replaced on both the St. George Island and Mayport sides.
The immediate benefit is the overall public safety and health. With a structure like this, you need to make sure that everything is up to date and it's running smoothly. So that's the immediate benefit. Some of the additional features with the new ferry ramp, we're going to provide a center section to provide access for ADA pedestrians as well as cyclists who want to enter and ride onto the ferry.
It's been 3 decades since the bridges were last replaced. The ferry is expected to reopen on November 1st. Over the past 2 years, Making Moves senior correspondent Terry Casey has profiled many different passengers in our Why I Ride series. A college student, downtown businesswoman, retired insurance executive, a visually impaired rider, a first-time rider, and more. Each one had a unique reason for taking public transit. In his latest report, Terry introduces us to a woman who has been riding JTA longer than it's actually been called JTA. And even at 81 years old, she has no plans to stop now.
This quaint little house not far from Edward Waters College is the home of Alberta Brooks. Inside you'll find lots of precious family photos, and more often than not, the 81-year-old Alberta reading her Bible. That in itself isn't all that unusual for a woman of her age in a southern city like Jacksonville. What is unusual, though, is what she does when she leaves her home. Hallelujah. Several times a week, you will find Alberta Brooks walking to a nearby bus stop to catch a ride on JTA. It's something she's been doing since she was a child.
Me and my mother would catch the bus and ride downtown to make coins, because that's where she did her shopping at.
Back then, Alberta and her mother rode on the Jacksonville Coach Company buses until 1974, when the struggling company folded, and the city asked the Jacksonville Expressway Authority to take over the operation. The name was then changed to the Jacksonville Transportation Authority, or JTA. Alberta, now an adult and on her own, was still riding the city bus to work and everywhere else she wanted to go.
I was working over there at, was it J.C. Penney's, dusting, keeping the furniture and stuff, dusting off the furniture and stuff. So that was my beginning then of learning how to ride the bus alone. Yeah, right there.
In fact, she rode so often, she knew the bus routes better than many of the drivers, especially the new ones.
She can tell that there was something wrong, because she saw me driving with my train sheet in my hand, which is our route sheet. And she said, "Baby, is everything okay?" I said, "Yes, ma'am." She said, "Do you need some help?" "Yes, ma'am. Please come sit right here, please."
Back in the 1990s, Sherman Rothwell, JTA's current manager of fixed bus route operations, was a new JTA bus operator and having difficulty learning his route.
So she came up to the front of the bus and she began to show me through the neighborhoods how to maneuver around and get myself back on schedule. And she did that for a couple of trips. And she said, "Now, you sure you're gonna be all right?" She said, "I'm gonna go to work, but I'm gonna come back later and check on you." So, but she did that with a lot of us. You know, we all used to look for her in the downtown area.
And I used to get on the bus and ride with our different drivers that didn't know their routes and stuff like that. And if they was in my area of the routes that I used to go in, I would ride with them to teach them the bus route, to help them, you know where to turn and this, that, and other.
A job change took Alberta to new parts of town, places she'd never been before in Jacksonville.
I started cleaning houses and over the parts of Jacksonville. Some of my houses was in Mandarin, Bay Meadows, Turtle Creek, Jackson Beach. Learned how to ride. That was my first time going down there to the beach.
Being in unfamiliar territory was never a problem for Alberta. Her sons, as she affectionately called all her male bus drivers, would now return the favor and make sure she was always headed in the right direction, just as she had done for them so many times before.
And my drivers would always tell me when I got to 3rd Street, they would keep up with me with the different streets where I'm supposed to get off at. And now you know to go right, or you know to go left, but this is your street. And they have helped me out in so many areas that I worked in, my drivers. I say my drivers because that's what it was. Hi, love, how are you?
Alberta says driving a bus back in the day was a whole lot different than it is now.
Oh, yeah. It was rough on the drivers because back in those days, the drivers had to give change and it was one thing and another. And our buses stayed crowded back then, too. They had to be shifting gears, and I used to be feeling sorry for my drivers because I call all of them my sons.
As for the buses, well, it seems as if the comfort of the new buses wins out. And that comfort is never more evident than after stepping on an air-conditioned bus on a 90-degree-plus day.
So, yes, that is very, very comfortable.
After more than 6 decades riding JTA, Alberta Brooks says she still loves it. She loves seeing old friends and meeting and talking with new riders. But you know what? Most of all, she loves helping out her sons and daughters, the JTA drivers who are always happy to see her step through these doors. In Newtown, Terry Casey, JTA Making Moves.
And that wraps up the Season 11 premiere of Making Moves. We thank you so much for taking some time to join us. Remember, you can check out past episodes anytime online at jtafla.com. You can also find stories and other exclusive content when you like our Facebook page at facebook.com/JTA Making Moves. I'm Donna Deegan. We hope to see you next time for another edition of Making Moves. Take care, everyone.